My dog won't stop moving. Stop moving. Hi guys, it's Rebecca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about things I've learned while cosplaying. I've been cosplaying since I think maybe 2013, 2012, I can't remember, but it's been a good maybe 3 or 4 years. So throughout that time I have learned quite a bit, and I feel like if I can share it with you guys, maybe you'll have experience and learn the same things I have, or it's kind of a little tip. Maybe you can learn some things from this as well and learn from my experiences, but let's go. Just a bit of a disclaimer. There might not be any videos on this channel for maybe next week or the week after, because on Saturday I'll hopefully have this video up on Sunday. My laptop will be sent away for repair because it's acting up a little bit and I need it not to do that, so it will be away for probably a good couple of weeks or so, so there might be a little bit of a blip in uploads on this channel. Not a good way to start my trying to upload every week thing, but nothing I can do about it. If the tech's failing me, I can't do much about that. The first thing I've learned while cosplaying is that cosplay is expensive, no matter what way you try and do it. Whether you're trying to buy the things yourself or you're trying to make them, expect to spend a little bit of money. Obviously, some people can be really lucky and find things that they need through charity shops, or a friend has something they can borrow. That's all completely fine. My jacket I had for my Undying cosplay, I actually found that in a charity shop for £10, which was really good because it was exactly what I was looking for. So I encourage you not to shy away from charity shops, because you never know what you might find in them and you always pick up a bargain. But whether or not you are buying the pieces or making them, you are going to have to spend a little bit. Fabric's expensive, Warbler is very expensive, I just realised, and depending on how much detail you want to go for, even if you're buying specific pieces, sometimes trying to find something to buy specifically for that comes with a bit of a heftier price tag. Sometimes it is worth investing a little bit more money into this, because then you get a kick-ass outfit out of it. And sometimes if it's more of like a clothing kind of base cosplay, you get an item of clothing out of it as well, so it's a bit more multi-purpose and therefore a bit more worth your coin. As much as it is fun to go around to the convention centre or wherever it's being held in your costume, leading up to that, cosplaying is so stressful. And I don't just mean this whenever you're making something. Even if you're buying your cosplay in that, you have to hope it gets there in time, hope it's the right thing that you're looking for when it does arrive, and if it's not, having to deal with the returning process and then having to look for something else. In regards to making it, you have to hope that you make it so it turns out correctly, and that whenever you have all of your items together, you look the way that you essentially want yourself to look. That comes with a lot of stress, which is why whenever I'm making my costumes, which I've been doing consistently for the last year or so, I leave myself maybe like 2-3 months in advance, so that way I have plenty of room for if something goes wrong, and something has gone wrong. My Sailor Moon cosplay, it took me a solid month of working on it because stuff kept going wrong. I made the t-shirt probably about 3 times, and the sleeves were a bit of an issue as well. The skirt was fine and everything else was fine, it was just the shirt. The shirt to this day is still not right, and if I ever do that again, I'm going to have to remake it and do it properly. It does come with a little bit of stress, but if you leave yourself plenty of time to do it, you have a steady plan, and you just approach things calmly, it works out well and you always look really good. But just be prepared for a little bit of stress and hair ripping and all that jazz. No matter whether you buy your cosplay or you make it, chances are on the day of the convention you're always going to find something wrong with it. And that's okay, because chances are the thing that you think is wrong with your costume, no one's going to notice anyway. Take my Merida cosplay for example, the first one that I ever made fully. I see instantly by looking at that there's at least 2 problem areas in that dress, and it's probably because whenever I was making it, it was getting close to the convention and it wasn't finished and I was starting to panic, so small details kind of took a little side note and were kind of rushed. So if I was going back to make that again, at least I know a different way to approach it now. But I noticed there's something wrong with it. Amy didn't notice until I told her. So if there's something wrong with you, if you think there's something wrong with your costume, just don't mention it to anybody, because chances are nobody notices, because there's probably small insignificant little things that don't take away from the entire image that you're presenting of yourself. So literally don't fret the small details. There's no point, because it'll ruin your day, and you want to have fun in your costume that you've either created or put together and have fun with your friends. So there's no point in stressing out about all the little small things that no one really notices. That can be another thing about cosplaying that even I, to this day, am still kind of struggling with. To be a cosplayer, you need a bucket ton of confidence. And I do mean that, because it's one thing being in the convention centre with a pile of people who are pretty much doing the same thing as you, just playing the big adult game of make-believe. You have to get to the convention centre first, and I don't drive, and neither does Amy. So what we do is we book a hotel close by to the convention centre, but we still have to walk there. When it gets to walking to a convention centre dressed as something from either a Disney film or a comic book or something like that, people are going to look at you. It can make the experience of getting to the convention a little nerve-wracking. One of my cosplays, which I'm probably never going to do again until I perfect it to a T, was my Elsa from Frozen cosplay. And I was walking to the convention centre. It was a Titanic exhibition centre, and we stayed at the Premier Inn nearby, so it was only about a 10-minute walk or so. The amount of "let it goes" and "Elsa's" that got shouted at me on the way to the convention centre just from passers-by or people in a car was more than it should have been, to be honest. And that can be quite nerve-wracking for some people, because you don't expect to ever get shouted at or hear people or have people looking at you when you're just walking from one place to the other. It's just that whenever you're in costume, it's a bit different because it's not the norm. And it happened last QCon actually. I went to the Botanic Gardens to get photos of my Aerith cosplay done, and the park, because it was the warmest day of the year when QCon was on, and the park was full of regular people who were just enjoying the sunshine, walking about the place, and here's Gomi in a full pink outfit, mad wig, posing near a bed of flowers, and that's gonna get some looks. My PlayStation just made a noise and just completely interrupted me. Shush. I believe I actually had, while I was posing in the flower bed, there was a family that were standing nearby. And I don't know why, but they just stood there and they were just staring at me and Amy the entire time. And I wasn't doing any harm. I was sitting near a flower bed getting photos taken. And they just kept staring at me. And I was like, this is so, like, am I exposing myself or am I doing anything indecent? No, I was just sitting by a flower bed. But yeah, if you don't have a little bit of confidence, it can put you off a little bit, and it kind of just ruins your day. But chances are people are going to look at you regardless of what you're doing, and as long as you're enjoying it and you're going with a pile of friends who are also doing the same thing as you, you don't need to be worrying about what anybody else is doing or what everybody else is thinking, because you're having fun, you're hanging out with your friends, and just ignore everybody else, because you're going to spend the day being an awesome person, looking awesome, and they're not, probably. That's what brings me to my last point. Cosplaying is probably one of the most fun things that I have ever done. And despite all the stress and the money spending and the confidence in that you need, it is so much fun. I have loved Halloween since I was, well, probably since I can remember, because I love dressing up. Whenever I was younger, I was always into acting and being in plays, and even to this day I love musicals, so I love the whole theatricality. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Theatricality of it all. And so, being someone of my age, nearly mid-20s, and still having the ability to dress up and be something else, that's the kind of fun that you just don't get these days unless you go to things like this. So I'm going to keep going to conventions for as long as I can. I saw a video on Facebook the other day of a woman in her 70s in China who's still cosplaying. And I was like, that is going to be me. I am going to be rolling my walker down the convention centre, dressed as a character from a comic book or an anime or something, and I am going to have fun. Because life is pretty dull, life is pretty boring and mundane. So anytime that I can get a little bit of fun in my life, I'm going to do it. And I very, very, very much encourage you to even try it if you're even considering going to a convention and cosplaying. I cannot recommend it enough. It has done wonders for my creativity, it has done wonders for my confidence, and it's just a bit of harmless fun for the day. And if it's a way for you to hang out with people who like the same things that you do and just have a bit of fun and do something different, then why not? What's the harm in it? So until next time, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring a little bell in case you want notifications every time I make a new video. All of my socials are down in the description box as usual. My cosplay page is down there as well if you want to see any of my previous cosplays that I've done and to keep up to date with any of the ones I'm doing this year. And until next time, guys, be nice to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye!